Alright, I'm just continuing my video on this index WuFoo.html file. So basically what we've done is we've gone logged in or signed up for a WuFoo account and created our form. And then from there we went to code and we took some of this HTML and CSS code and we downloaded it. Once we download the file, we open up the index.html file of that download after you unzipped it. And we're working on copying out this form text, or this form code. So basically there's a whole bunch of stuff in here and we don't need most of it. All we need is this form, where it starts, form ID, etc., and then where the form closes at the bottom. So we're going to copy that out, and then we're going to replace our reservation code that's existing. So let's do the index-wufoo.html as an example. And so basically we're going to scroll down to where it has the form. And you can see it looks really familiar. So we're going to do that. And we're going to delete the existing one. I'm going to save that just to show you that we've removed it. And then I'm going to paste in the new one that we copied into this spot. So if we refresh, you'll see that it actually looks really close, but there's some problems with it. For one, these don't show up correctly, and then the submit button should be check availability or whatever you want that to be. So let's start with the submit button. So if we go to the bottom of the form that we pasted in, there's this input, and it's actually input submit, and there's a value equals. And so we can actually make that check availability, and if we refresh the page you get your check availability button. Pretty cool. So then the next thing we want to do is go over how to add the text for arrival and departure, and that's a very similar thing. We're going to add this value, except for we're going to add it to the arrival and departure ones. So you see this label, and then you see your field, and there's a blank value. And so we're going to make that arrival. And if you refresh, you'll see arrival plugs in right there. And then departure is the next label and input. And that value is blank as well. And we're going to put departure there. And then the last thing to go over is how to make it show the calendar. And that's actually done by adding a class to these two inputs. And so basically the same area where we edited to add the value, look for a class, and we're going to add a class in there. So we'll just add a space and type in date picker, one word, just date picker. So we refresh that, and I added a date picker to arrival now. So if we select arrival, you can select that date picker. It's super cool. And then departure, we don't have one yet, but we can add that in. So under departure, we're going to add a space and a class of date picker under the class equals field. And now we have a date picker for departure as well as arrival. And we can select all of our items and click check availability, and it will go to your Woo forms. Now, this one just submitted automatically. It didn't stop you for your name because we didn't add that into the form. Basically what you want to do once you've created the first bit of form is go back, edit your form, and you can add a couple extra fields for your first name and last name. And if you make those required, I'm going to go ahead and save the form. Unfinished. And now if I go back to our example on index-wufoo, if I fill in all these fields and click check availability, it will stop me and ask for my name right here via the form, and you can add email, phone, address, etc. as you need. Another thing to go over is your form actually has a separate page, so if you click on view under that form manager, you can get a link, and this is what you can use in other spots throughout the theme as well. Like for your room check availability links, you can add a link to that form that you've also created so they can contact you. And through WuFoo, you can actually see the entries. They show up down here and all of the data from the entry. So this is just an example of how you can have a check availability built in.